Today we're going to make an ocean beach themed candle cup. We use a goblet with a larger caliber. We are doing a landscaping. Its caliber is bigger, thus we will have more space to operate. When we made the candlesticks of the ocean series, we used real shells. But when the seashell touches the flame, it will be flame retardant. And when the flame touches it, it will turn black after burning. When making the candle series, all accessories are best made of wax, because the molds for shells on the market are relatively large, not suitable for micro landscape. We made 2 molds by ourselves. It has all kinds of very small, miniature of these shells, conch and starfish. We need to make the shell series first. If you make scallops like this, or make the one like this without small sharp points, the requirements for wax are not very high. You can use number 56 soy wax, or fine white beeswax, but it can be used if it is made in the shape of a starfish, such as soy wax. It is very brittle, easy to break when demolding. The more flexible it is, the better it will be for the shape of the finished product. So we make it with white beeswax. Small accessories use little wax, though the cost of beeswax is a bit high, because it is used less. Then we use white beeswax to make these small accessories. Let us melt the wax first. When it is about 100 degrees Celsius, pour it out a little bit. The color of the shell is not pure white. Pure white is not very nice, so we use the non-penetrating brown dye to tune out a little darker color first. Then you can use this darker color to smear a little on top of the shells, so that we can make the color of the shell to have some layers. You can also use a brush to do it. Then pour a little mixed color into the white liquid wax. The color is not pure white. Let us make it a little beige. Enter around 100 degrees Celsius, because the first layer is colored. It should not be lower than 100 degrees Celsius. If so, it is easy to produce layering. First start with the shells, which having a little depth. The starfish is relatively thinner, it is not easy to pour the liquid in. Tidy it up with this scraper first. The excess wax can be reused after it solidifies. You can shovel it up with a scraper. Blow the uneven surface with a heat gun, mainly because the point tip of the starfish is not easy to be even. If there are small bubbles, there must be wax missing in the middle. So use a heat gun to blow the surface. Get as much wax as possible into the mold, because they are too many, so they were not easy to get into the mold very well. With the help of a scraper, we scrape the surface when it is not solidified. Wait for it to solidify. Then we melt the second portion of wax. We use palm wax or crystal palm wax this time. Weigh out 100 grams of palm wax. If you are doing offline business, the courier issue is not involved. You can add the drops of dye directly to the palm wax. Stir it till the color of the beach appears. Because it is a bit loose, it may fall down during the transportation. If you need to transport it, or want the beach more realistic, you need to give it a treatment. If we use it directly, it is uniformly sized particles, not look like real one. Melt it first, then while it melts, we stick double-sided tape on the bottom and install the wax wick. Because the cup has a larger caliber, we will install 2 or 3 wax wicks. If you install 3 wicks, the burning will be more comprehensive. Later the beach will come out of this location. When it melts, don't let it all melt into liquid. There must be a little solid wax left in it. Then stir while melting. Keep stirring until there is some liquid and some solid wax inside. You can turn off the heater. Add a drop of brown. This is also a non-penetrating dye. Then add golden yellow. Because the beach is golden yellow. More golden yellow and less brown. If the essential oil is needed, you can add 7.5 milliliters per 100 grams of wax. Just add a spoon. Keep stirring. If there are big particles, crush them a little bit, because there are no oversized grains of sand on the beach. In addition, if the melting time is long, and there is too much liquid, then we should add a little more solid palm wax to it. Otherwise, you will have to stir it for a long time. It gets a little dry now. I think the color is a little too yellow. Add another drop of brown to darken it. While stirring, we start to prepare the third portion of wax. It is the jelly wax for making the ocean. Let us put it here to melt. And then we come back to stir the beach part. Keep stirring. Pay attention when we stir it. If you want to deliver this candle, it cannot be too dry or too loose. It is time to put it in the cup when it is a little moist, so you need to control it well. If it is too wet, the texture is not very good. If it is too dry, it will fall apart. We're going to stir it to a state when it is slightly moist and dry like this. It is already starting to scatter, but if you try hard to press it, it can also be stick together. In this state, it can be assembled. Otherwise, it may be too loose and easy to fall off. Let us align it to one side first. Compact it. One side is slanted, one side is empty. Compact it here first. Keep stirring the rest part. Stir it dry a bit. Then the texture will be better. We put it on the surface. Then it will be stirred until it is very dry and scattered. If you shake it, the big particles will be on top. The finer particles will be at the bottom. The shells we made earlier can be demolded. You can clean off the wax on the edge first. Then it can be reused. So there is no waste. Okay, these shells can be removed. As for the shells, we can make more at a time. For example, ours are a bit yellowish this time. You can also make some white lighter ones. Then when you do it, just do it alternately. Be careful when demolding the starfish. If there is such extra wax at back, pinch it in. Tidy it up. We need to pinch the tip a little more sharp. We can put some of the shells at the bottom part. We're going to split out some of the melted jelly wax to tone it to ocean blue. Then split out a little bit more to tone it into white, to make white waves. For the white waves, we add a white solid dye directly. Then we can tilt up a little bit and pave a layer of blue jelly wax. Jelly wax coloring is faster, so when we are doing the coloring, we put a little bit lake blue dye for several times. Then I add a little mint green in the jelly wax. Pour some of the lake blue first. Then we can tilt up a little bit and pave a layer of blue jelly wax. On top of the jelly wax, we put some finer grain of sand, so that they can stick to the jelly wax part. And it won't fall off. Then we pour a little more lake blue. Wait for it to solidify. If you want a more transparent lake blue, just add a transparent color on top of the blue layer. Spread a little more crushed sand on top. Then come to the white waves. Because the waves are all on the edge, we can pick some of the white wax there on the edge. Pick up a little bit on this side first. You can pick it up a few times like this when it is still wet. Wait for this part to solidify for a while. Then we pave a layer of transparent color on top of it. In this way, it will be more transparent. This transparent layer should cover all the beach part. When the transparent layer is not dry, apply another layer of finely crushed beach powder. In this way, it will stick firmly. It won't spill easily. Shake it. Push the moving part to the side where there is jelly wax. It is very firm now, and the beach looks natural. It won't spill during transportation. Okay, let us put another layer of waves in the middle of it. Then brush a little to the side. If it is not very natural this side, you can put some more sand on this part of the wave. Now if the starfish and shells are buried underneath, and we cannot see them clearly now, then we can put a few more on top. Then pour the transparent color again. Add a little to the place where you sway it. And finally you can scrape the part of the waves again. Pick it with a toothpick. Just when it is almost dry. It can be picked up like this. Flatten the surface. Pave a layer of fine sand where the jelly wax flows. Okay, this is what it looks like when it is done. You can also adjust the ratio of beach to waves. For example, less beach and more waves. Then we pile the white waves at the bottom. It will look more natural. There will be a three-dimensional feeling inside. Do it in layers. Do a layer and then pave a layer of white waves. When you look the whole from above, its three-dimensional sense will be stronger. This is our scented candle with an ocean view.